Hey folks, it's Ed Kane here with a conversation in progress, and we're going to be taking a look at a video by the Lincoln Project, which will knock your socks off if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, we're just going to do a little analysis and make sure you know those names. So here we go.
Someday soon, the time of Trump will pass. This circus of incompetence, corruption, and cruelty will end. When it does, the men and women in Trump's Republican Party will come to you, telling you they can repair the damage he's done. They'll beg you to forget their votes to exonerate Trump from his crimes, ask you to forgive their silence, their cowardice, and their betrayals as Trump wrecked this nation. Every time they had a choice between America and Trump, they chose Trump. Every time they were called to the service of this nation and their sacred oath, they chose Trump. Every time. Learn their names. Remember their actions. And never, ever trust them again.
There you go. So, first question, why can't Democrats do this? There is a reason, I think, but we're going to take a look at that video. Start off, Mitch McConnell. These people who have been able to choose for America, for the checks and balances. I mean, Mitch McConnell has been doing this for all of his time, finally able to put more people on the Supreme Court, holding off Merrick Garland's Supreme Court nominee from Obama. Come on. This is heavy-duty power people. So what are the names? Who are the people? Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Thom Tillis, Martha McSally, Ted Cruz, Joni Ernst, Marco Rubio, Susan Collins, John Cornyn, Jim Inhoff, Steve Daines, Tom Cotton. Now, why did all these people get in? Well, they're all up for their Senate re-election coming up here soon. Most of them. Imagine these people are on the chopping block now, and they are in a tricky place because President Trump's popularity among his base is very high. There is a strange kind of allure that, I don't understand, but people do like him. But let's name the rest of the people, because all these people that are running for their Republican seat, I hope I catch everyone, and I hope these are all true. Shelley Moore, Lamar Alexander, Cindy Hyde-Smith, Ben Sass, Mike Rounds, Dan Sullivan, Cory Gardner, David Perdue, Jim Risch, and Bill Cassidy. All these folks are Republicans up for re-election. I better check on all of those just to make sure I didn't get those incorrect. But this is just for the Senate. The Senate is critical. The Senate is our least democratic body. It is two senators are chosen from each of the states, each of the 50 states, and some of the states are tiny. So when you have two representatives in a powerful body that only has 100 seats, and two of them are from a tiny little place, that can really skew the election. So sometimes they're looking at the Louisiana refund. And the Louisiana refund was this idea that the Louisiana Purchase was actually not just Louisiana, but much of the inland was purchased from the French way back when. And has been a reliable red district in terms of overall state elections for the Senate. So many of those areas are starting to get disillusioned by their Republican senators and what very little they're doing for them. Think of Mitch McConnell and how Kentucky has really suffered, and it's really low on it's like 47th state in the union in terms of wealth and in terms of many of the factors that you would look for being a nice state to live in. So he's really run that into the ground, but don't worry, he's getting rich. So there's an interesting thing, but this is a tough thing from the Lincoln Project. Now, who are the Lincoln Project? These are the never Trumpers, people like Steve Schmidt and Conway I'm not going to say Tim, but Kellyanne Conway's husband. He is a part of this group who said, this guy, I mean, people who were really true in their beliefs, people who said they were constitutionalists, people who believed strongly in protecting the laws and America have, at least in the Republican Party, have been wrapping themselves in the flag and doing this. Now, many of them don't believe it at all. But people like the Never Trumpers seem to actually believe it. And they've got a incredible footprint now on the media. You see these people on MSNBC, on CNN all the time. They're really this cornerstone of the conversation. Now, that's good because they're against Trump. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But their ideas have been proven wrong over and over again also. So keep that in mind. Just because we can get together with people that disagree with us on many topics, right? So maybe business, maybe there's a pro Medicare for all Republican. Maybe there is. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But we could get together on that. And the angle you could use to convince more people is, why should my business, my little business, have to pay health insurance for my employees? It's a burden for this tiny little business to do this. So you could think about that. You could think about the freedom of being able to go from job to job. You don't have to worry about these things. All these things, they could be there is an angle, a pro-business angle, but the real business guys know that they've been holding this out for other reasons because of bargaining power and to keep the wages low. Oh, we give you health care. Let's keep your wages low. Sound good? And you're like, I want to live. So yeah, you can keep my wages low. Come on. If the United States had a Medicare for all system. Anyways, that's a little off topic. We're talking about the Lincoln Project. We're talking about really where we can come together with people and where we can not come together with people. And it turns out that this list that the Lincoln Project has identified, again, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Thom Tillis, Martha McSally, Ted Cruz, Joni Ernst, Marco Rubio, Susan Collins, John Cornyn, Jim Inhoff, Mike Round, Steve Daines, Tom Cotton are all mentioned in the video. And we have to know these people because these are the people that chose Trump over America over and over again. And if you're looking for a very simple shorthand for how to do this, try to figure out if the Republican is going to vote for America. Now, you have to put some of the blame on the Democrats. Of course, that's what we do, right? So why do the Democrats not make these types of videos? It's tricky because they don't think that way. They can't boil it down to a nice, simple thing. I can't. It's not good. I can see it and go, wow, that's exactly what you needed to do. That's the exact video I needed to see. But why can't Democrats do it and Republicans can? It's a concept that Berkeley professor George Lakoff called complex causation. Complex causation means that people who have complex causation, the ability to kind of put together all the different things. So if you talk about things, we'll talk about this in a separate video completely. But it's complex, right? So you go, oh, sure, well, Susan Collins kind of said she would vote this way, and then she voted that way, and oh, geez, it's complex, right? Like you could put all this stuff together. No, it's simple. Susan Collins betrayed the American people when she voted to acquit Trump with the rest of the Republicans during the impeachment. That impeachment was a very simple, very clear-cut case. They did not even bring in all of the cases. Now, personally, you'll hear from me that I believe they should have thrown the book at him, but instead they made these kind of esoteric things. People kind of wheedle around. Oh, I don't really think it's so. But it's simple. This video laid it down. Whenever the chips are down, boom. There you go. You got a Susan Collins. You got a Joni Ernst. Anytime. So think about these people. Remember their names because they are going to keep if Trump loses. When Trump loses, eventually the age of Trump will be over. That's how this thing starts. If it's now in November because we got together and we made it happen, or if it's in 4 years, right? He gets 2 terms. Or he snakes some way of getting 3 terms, 4 terms, whatever it is, but the age of Trump will one day be over, right? We have to agree. And we know how it happens, right? So eventually a 77-year-old guy is just unable to do the job, right? So complex causation is the idea that I wanted to share with you in another video. But isn't this awesome? I know that there's going to be some tendency for people to be beholden to the Lincoln Project people. Guess what? We already are. They're already all over the news. You don't have to turn your channel on. You don't have to turn 2 channels before you see these people in front of you. Now they have a good perspective because they are proving that they did really care about these things. All right. Well, check it out. What do you think about the Lincoln Project? What do you think about whether we'll be beholden to them? Or what do you think is the consequence? Do you think Democrats should start doing these videos? Please be a little bit tougher. Don't be so complex. Just get right to the point. The point is, these guys are bad for America. Just show them the economic curve. Show them anything. Show them how they've blown the policy on coronavirus. Come on. This is simple. All right. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.